Shasta Youth Peer Court has successfully diverted over 1,500 youth out of the juvenile justice system since 2003. I do believe that youth want to be successful. They want to be heard. They want to have a second chance to make better choices. These youth have been through adverse childhood experiences which have contributed to their bad choices. Providing second chances for these youth and opportunities for them to provide leadership roles in their community, to learn new behavior through life skills, mentorship, and community engagement is where we really see youth change. The punitive approach to criminal justice is slowly giving way to the philosophy of restorative justice. Research shows that lengthy sentences and incarceration increase the chances of reoffense. Peer courts are the fastest growing diversionary program in the United States. We are able to have families come and sit down with us for an intake process, an evaluation that can determine what the needs of the family and the youth are. When the kids are at peer court and they're serving on a jury and they've had an offense and now they're a foreperson or a clerk, they're just like everybody else. It's like they never had an offense. This is where I really see the light come on for them. I really see their behavior change. I do not believe that any of the youth I've ever worked with wanted to make bad choices, wanted to flunk out of school, or want to be criminals. When an offender appears in court to testify on their own behalf, they testify in front of a jury of their peers. Everybody on the jury is equal. One of the greatest aspects about peer court is that it's run by youth. Our clerk is a youth, our jurors are youth, and they are the ones who are responsible for questioning the respondent about what they've gone through, the crime that they committed, how they're doing in school, what their future plans are, if they have people who support them in their family. The jurors are really trying to get to know the respondent, not just about the crime itself, but about who they are and how they can help them make better choices. After the court hearing, the jury deliberates on each case individually and decides what's fair and appropriate for each respondent based on the offense and what their needs are. When each respondent has successfully completed all of the dispositions, their case is dismissed and they do not have a criminal record.
I think that peer court is important because it gives the youth a second opportunity at life, really. So when you're young, you obviously make mistakes and you get peer pressure to do things, but peer court recognizes that, and if you admit your guilt and you recognize you have been making mistakes your own, then you are able to actually fix those as if they never happened, which is very important in today's generation, so the youth can grow up and be successful later.
I think one of the reasons why peer court is so important to, first, me as a prosecutor is it is really rewarding to see kids, they're still kids, minors, realize that they have made a mistake and not this is the end of the road, now they're in trouble, now they're going to juvenile probation. It's recognizing that everybody deserves a second chance for the most part. Of course, there are always going to be people who don't deserve a second chance. But when they're minors, certainly a second chance is something that's really important. And I think that having kids in our community recognize that you can make bad choices, but when you own up to them and you become responsible for them, it leads to a better path and a better road. And one of the important things for me as an attorney who helps mentor the youth attorneys is watching them grow. So learning to speak in public, learning to speak slowly, learning to talk to the respondent. When they're representing the respondent, that can be a hard conversation. You're asking somebody to get up on the stand, be honest and admit what they have done is wrong and a crime in front of a room full of people. Normally at peer court, we have 12 plus jurors, and then we have parents in the background, we have a judge, we have a clerk, we have individuals who come and watch, whether it's for classes or because they're interested in the program. And so they're sitting here up in front of all of these eyeballs, watching them admit to their guilt, admitting to doing something wrong. And so being able to help mentor the respondent's peer attorneys to help get the respondent through that, and then also helping the respondent understand the process is really important. We have so many kids who are diverted through the program. And what that means is our low-level misdemeanor offenders who maybe aren't going to be held as accountable as they should be in the juvenile court process because there's too many cases for it, get sent to a group of their peers, and their peers really have a better take on what's happening sort of in that age group. And so they have a better idea of, this person really may need job skills, or this person might need to go to a group where they're able to just sit and talk with other individuals who are their age, their gender. And so having kids be a part of that justice system is a unique opportunity, and it's an important opportunity to encourage our youth to be involved in the community.
If you're interested in starting a youth court, please contact our organization. We are part of the California Association of Youth Courts that currently trains other counties on how to implement peer courts in their juvenile justice system. Everyone deserves a second chance, especially our youth. They are our future.
As much as I enjoy my day job, I love my night job, and my night job is my volunteer work for Youth Peer Court. I am very passionate about my volunteer work at Youth Peer Court, and the reason for that is I was not a lot different as a teenager than many of the respondents who come before the court. I made my share of poor decisions. I did not have a good support system. I had a family not unlike a lot of people in our community that was plagued with drug addiction and low socioeconomic status, and as a result, I made my own poor decisions. And so when I see these respondents come before the court, I see an opportunity for early intervention. I see an opportunity to tell these individuals that despite maybe what they've been through in their past, they get to rewrite their future. And this is their opportunity to take responsibility for their actions and to move on and to lead a successful, productive life without having any type of criminal record. And I tell these individuals that part of this process is not only asking for forgiveness from the victims who may have been a victim of their offenses, but also forgiving themselves and letting them know that they can move on from this and that they have the ability to have an incredibly successful future. And I mean that sincerely, and I hope they see that sincerity because that was the experience that I had, and I hope that they have the same experience.